Hello everyone! The 25th episode got released just now, and let me tell you that I was simply shocked by what I saw in it today. It was not only filled to the brim with pure action and fire battles, but it was also really dramatic and thrilling. And what I saw in the end of this episode just struck me in my chair for a few seconds. But even despite all this, I can say that this is one of the best action episodes in the Zombie Universe series so far. So in this video, I analyzed the new episode for you guys and found all the interesting details and Easter eggs that you could have missed on your own. What's the unique ability of the infected hero TVman and how it will affect our protagonists in action? What is the secret that MonsterUp left in this episode for us specifically that indicates on some crazy plot twist of the next episode? What happened to Titan TVman and what kind of fate waits for him in the future? So I am going to break the whole episode down for you. And if you're really ready, then put all your business aside for the next 11 minutes, and trust me, get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because I saved the juiciest part for later, just as always. Let's go! But before I'll start digging into episode 25, let me remind you real quick about the events of the previous episode so you won't get too confused about what has actually been going on. So the episode 24 started with G-Man, who was ready to use his powerful X-18 core to destroy his former comrade zombie scientist for good. And although the scientist tried to fight back with a speaker sound wave that stunned everyone for a moment and gave him an opportunity to get himself together, it didn't work for long. And in the end of short but fierce battle, G-Man and Titan cameraman quickly overpowered him. And then even Titan TV Man joined the party, which made scientists' chances to survive equal to 0. So G-Man turns off the scientist's weapons and finishes him off. And after this fight, G-Man doesn't join the celebration of Titans as he still grieves for his former friend that he had to destroy with his own hands. He looks really upset and turns his head away. Meanwhile, the POV sees Zombie Speaker on the device in his hands, and a mysterious portal appears and sucks him into. And it seems like the Plague Doctor might be behind this action. The scene changes to a place from episode 8, and the POV watches a TV man's dramatic video message which reveals that he had to betray his friends in order to gain the Plague Doctor's trust. He regrets his actions and reveals there's a special core that can cure the zombie virus. He believes this core is crucial for solving the series' main problem. The episode ends with Plungerman getting very angry after watching this video message. He fights through zombies to reach TV Man, who has already turned into a terrifying zombie version of himself, which happened at the Plague Doctor's fault. Okay, so now when your memory is refreshed and you're all set and ready, episode 25 is already on your screens. And it starts at the same location we could remember from episode 8, where the POV Plungerman was teleported to at the end of the previous episode. And here we're looking at quite depressing picture, because just as the POV finished watching the video message from TV Man, who turned out to be a hero and not a traitor as we all thought, he met a MIT person, but the TV Man we once knew terribly changed. He was right when he reported in his video message how by the time it will be found, he will already be finished off or turned into a zombie by the Plague Doctor. It was a price that he had to pay for working as a double agent. And that's why this dude is a real hero. But anyway, he's now a terrible monster. And considering the fact that he was infected with the newer and more dangerous strain of zombie virus, he's also an exceptionally dangerous opponent. And you'll see what I mean as you'll keep watching this video. Okay, so in my previous analysis, I've mentioned how he now has abilities of using bats the same way the infected Drill Man had an ability connected with Black Mamba that was shown to us in episode 20. But if this Drill Man's main tool of combat was nightmarish illusions, then the infected TV Man has something even more creative and dangerous in store. Because as it turns out later, these bats that he's using is a simply universal weapon that have endless number of opportunities. But let's talk about his general appearance first, because in this episode we can see more details. His TV screen gets curved into two sides and now it looks like a maw of some crazy beast. He's now got 2 bat wings behind his back, which made me think of Dracula, but I'm not sure whether this comparison would be appropriate enough though, so let's leave it aside for now. One of his hands still has glove on it, but the other one is exposed and we can see that it's human and covered with skin. But I don't know whether there is a point to speculate our TV men or any other members of the Alliance are humans or robots in this universe, because it seems to me that having parts of human skin is simply a part of MonsterUp's zombie design. Zombie Titan Drill Man had patches of skin too, for example. But what's the most interesting about his design is that he is literally sewn of thousands of bats. His whole body is like this, and this ability will be his main tool in future battles. Okay, so when the infected TV man roars at the POV's face, we turn around and run to the edge. And at this moment, we see that it's a helicopter platform, which now serves more like an arena. And every arena has crowds of loud fans cheering for their darlings, and this is no exception. When Plungerman looks around, he sees crowds of zombies hungry for bread and circuses, which means that he has no chances to just flee from his terrifying enemy. It seems like a repetition of episode 17 all over again, and the only thing which is missing is a magical savior who's supposed to come to the POV's rescue. But we'll talk about it later in my analysis, so keep watching this video to the end, not to miss the best part of it. And also be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, as it is always a healthy thing to do. Okay, but let's continue. The POV and the infected TV man start slowly walking in circle like fighters in a melee pit. And in this moment, the POV decides to ask for some help, and chooses Titan Cameraman for it. Although, as it turns out in the end, there was supposed to be another name on this display, apparently. After sending a message for help, the POV raises his fists, which looks pretty funny when you know the whole context and how powerful the infected TV man is in reality. So this melee fist-fighting thing must be just a joke for him. But the POV is yet to know about it, so he rushes at his opponent, but of course deals little to no damage as a result. He sticks his hand inside of TV Man's body, and that's how he realizes the shocking thing. It's actually sewn with bats and barely material, so TV Man simply restrains his arm, and in this moment he sees that the POV pleaded for help as well. And I bet that in this moment, the infected TV man already created some vile plan in his head about how to deal with any Titan who will arrive to this arena later. And it's safe for me to say that he was already prepared for anybody else's arrival. And it's interesting how he didn't even plan to finish the POV off in this moment, so he gives him a window to escape, which Plungerman, of course, uses while sticking the explosive plunger into the TV man's opened maw and retracting afterwards. And then we see the main problem of fighting with such an opponent as this TV man. It's simply impossible to damage him at all, as he always regenerates different parts within seconds with the usage of his almighty bats. And although this association may be pretty niche, this whole concept reminded me of one monster from the cartoon called Dragon Hunters, which was also made completely out of bats, and could use the separate parts of his body to chase and hurt his enemies. And the only way to defeat him was to separate different portions of his body bats and destroy them 1v1. But I really doubt that trick like this would work on the infected TV man. Don't you guys think so? Because he's so insanely fast and powerful at the same time that right now he seems almost unbeatable to me. And not only can he regenerate crazily fast, but he's also capable of creating new giant weapons out of his bats. And despite the fact that the layer of bats is almost transparent, the impact of such weapon is still pretty insane and hard-hitting. And now I would like to point out one awesome detail to you guys which you certainly missed. Did you notice this weird flash of light in the red sky while the POV was dodging TV Man's attacks? This is actually no coincidence or rendering mistake. I asked MonsterUp specifically about this detail, and he told me that it's actually a trail of Astro Toilet's teleportation, and it's a hint that he was about to appear at the end of this episode. We can also see another implication about this later, when you can see a giant handcuff in TV Man's hand after he punches us in the face with his giant bat-made fist. He actually set free Astro Toilet during this tiny moment who was captured by G-Man in episode 7 and delivered in this exact place, and that's just insane. And by the way, when we get hit in the face, we can see a construction with multiple posters, which are all references to different YouTubers reacting to Skibidi toilet videos. And then the infected TV man lands right before us and starts rushing towards us in a really creepy and unsettling way. But in this moment, the long-awaited help finally arrives. And to my surprise, it's Titan TV Man who appears out of the black mist and not Titan Cameraman, as was initially requested by Plungerman. Well, maybe Titan Cameraman received his request, but decided to tell it to Titan TV Man, as he would be the more suitable perfect for emergent reinforcement, as he can teleport within a second to any place he wants. Titan TV Man appears and steps on the scene like the chattest Chad I've ever seen. I mean, dude, just check out this walk. Sussy as hell. It really reminded me of that one boss from the game called Metal Gear Rising. I'm not gonna lie, with the words, "I'll crush you." He steps onto the infected TV man, and of course, our dude simply doesn't know about his special ability yet. But the mood definitely changes when the freak casts the whole Titan away with such terrible force that even my jaw dropped on the floor. Now the Titan seems to understand who he truly has to deal with, and during that moment the infected TV man creates a new body for himself, and he basically mimics the Titan TV man's appearance. It shocks the real Titan even more, and I can totally understand his feelings. And by the way, Zombie TV Man's ability to mimic his opponent's own appearance really reminded me of Counter Titan from Dom Studios' Multiverse, who was able to mimic Titan's weapons and abilities, and it made him an extremely dangerous opponent. The Freak sends a swarm of bats to expose Titan TV Man's core, but in response, Titan shows all awesome melee techniques that he knows and finishes its series with a shot from the core to where the Mimic's core was supposed to be. But that gives no results, as the infected TV man is not susceptible for any damage. There must be another tactic to defeat him, but unfortunately, Titan TV Man doesn't know about it. Instead, he keeps trying to beat the Mimic with the classic tricks that he knows, but none of this works. And as the Mimic gets tired of playing these mindless games, he grabs the Titan's neck and apparently tries to either strangle him or break his spine. So Titan kindly decides to help him and rotates his head to 180 degrees and blasts him with his screen's effect. And at first sight, it looks like the plan worked, and Zombie TV Man's bat body starts falling apart like a wet cake, so he quickly materializes into his ordinary form and flees. But just as Titan TV Man was about to celebrate his victory, it turns out that it all was just an evil trap, and Titan fell right into it. The giant rusty knife cuts right through Titan TV Man's core, and as he tries to react in panic, the face of the zombie Astro Toilet from Episode 7 appears, and he bites the Titan's shoulder with his awful rotten teeth. And oh my god, guys, my heart simply shattered when I saw this ending. Do you remember how I told you that TV Men's race is about to completely disappear from the face of the Earth in this multiverse? As there were only TV Woman, Titan TV Man, and this poor TV Man left alive? Well, now it seems like TV Woman is the last representative of this species at the moment, and man, this is just tragic. I definitely didn't see this coming, and it looks like there is no way for Titan TV Man to escape his terrible fate. Just think about it. Titan TV Man was kept in a cave by this exact TV Man all this time so that he wouldn't get infected, and in the end he gets infected right at his former savior's fault. Titan TV Man raises his head and tells the POV to run, and this is how today's episode ends. Oh dude, what a crazy freaking ride. And that was all for today. Write in the comments below about how thrilled you were during today's episode and how badly you want to find out what will happen to Titan TV Man. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so you will not miss my new videos, and also to my Discord, where you can contact me directly and get lots of info for my subscribers only. And that was me, ISO Toilet. See ya!